dozens.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we were competing against. Now, thousands. So what that tells consumers and all of us is that there's too much choice, which is why consumers, small businesses, I think of as consumers, are asking for consolidation, which is why we've acquired companies. That's why we built our platform to continue to be extensible, to continue to add more financial operations into it so we can be at the heart of their business, right? We want to be that hub. And I think that's just, it's good because all these solutions are doing something. And I think the thing that, I would recommend to any founder to think about is how do you go from being a product to a company? There's lots of products out there in those 1,000 companies.
Yeah.
Not all of them are standalone companies. And so making sure you think about how do you make that leap to that. Getting acquired is good, right? But there are opportunities that if you think early enough, there might be some standalone company opportunities.
Yeah, that's a different way to put it. I find that there's much more pressure in SMB, enterprise for different reasons, SMB, to be multi-product earlier.
Yeah.
Because it's not that the customers are thinking multi-product or suite or point solution. They just want it to do it all.
Well,
right?
and
they want it all.
There's too much
right?
choice to buy.
Too much choice. They just want to do it all.
You go to the grocery store, and if you're trying to find a bottle of wine, there's 1,000 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
What do? If there's 5, you can figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. We talked about 85% gross. That's pretty good. but if folks haven't thought about this, I mean, listen, there's a million products. There's Stripe. There's Adyen, who's here. There's banking as a service. I mean, this is amazing software,
yeah.
right? I mean, pre-Stripe, I can't imagine what we did at Echo. I don't even want to tell you what we did with this crazy Intuit gateway. They're magical, but you'll never get this.
Yeah.
You'll never get, and these are the best products. These are amazing software, right? But
yep.
I don't know how many do that. But if you're willing to invest 5 years and 100 engineers and 50 folks, you can. And this is super powerful. Just a small thing. I only put this up because you brought it up. And sorry if this is a little bit of an analyst call regurgitated, but you're among friends. there's no toughies
I'm
here.
used to the analyst call.
But this was interesting. You called out 6-quarter CAC. I think everyone gets CAC wrong, they miscalculate it, they don't know what's the right goal. Why is this Bill's efficient, right? So at a meta level, we can look at the top and bottom line. Why is 6 quarters, what's the right target for SMBs at your price point? How do you think about it at scale?
I mean, if I go way back, talk to my dad had a payroll company, sold it to ADP, worked for ADP for a while. The rule of thumb was always 1 year's worth of revenue, right? Which is 4 quarters, because the customer lasted 4 years.
Yeah.
And so, 6 quarters for us is, customers going to last longer than 4 years. Like, we know that. We also know that as they spend more time with us, they're going to do more. But so from day one, we've always thought about having a very viable business model. Like, you don't wait to build the business model. Don't wait to say, oh, I get the customers, they will come and I'll figure it out. Like, no, like, have your model. Maybe you don't charge at first, but have a model that says, okay, at this price point, I'm going to be able to have this. Like, I've always had that, and we've always been able to deliver because we knew what we were building towards. And so right now, 6 feels right. A lot of market opportunity in front of us. It's very efficient, and the lifetime value of the customer continues to grow. So you might say that maybe 6 is too light because customers do last a long time. You add all these payment products on, it's a lot of value that gets added to Bill. But 6 feels like the right balance, and managing a P&L is always about balancing. Yeah,
I think some folks that sell to SMBs, especially maybe up to 10, 20 million, have pretty high churn. High churn. And you're public, so I'm not asking you, I don't know what you disclose or don't, no pressure, right? But I don't know what your logo retention has to be pretty strong for SMBs to sustain. You can have up and down with transactions, but if the logos aren't staying 3 or 4 years, you can't do 6 quarters, can you?
Yeah, no. Yeah. So what we've shared is that we're at 86% logo retention.
86%?
Yeah. And it's really that first...
Well, that's approaching the 90% enterprise
Well, and it's that
right?
first 90 days. To your point, like you were talking earlier, like if somebody uses it, well, then we're golden. Then it's then it's better than 86, right? But first 90 days, we have high attrition because they haven't adopted, right?
Yeah.
And